What's up, peeps? Dr. Talbert here again with another video. Today we're going to talk about imposter syndrome. So let's start with talking about what exactly is imposter syndrome. Imposter syndrome is the belief that you are not as competent as others perceive, and it includes questioning whether you belong in a particular circumstance. People that suffer from imposter syndrome also have this fear of being exposed as a fraud, that someone will find out that they don't know as much as they should. The most irrational part about imposter syndrome is that you still have these feelings regardless of any objective data. So whether you're doing well on tests, whether your boss is giving you promotions, whether by any measure you're considered a success, that doesn't matter to you personally. You still feel as if you're a fraud. You feel as if you don't belong. You feel as though people are smarter than you. And the imposter syndrome is very prevalent in medical school and in medical professionals. In fact, one study found that 25% of male medical students and up to 50% of female medical students suffered from the imposter syndrome. And I can understand that because medical school is a very competitive environment. You're around people that have been at the top of their class for all of their lives. And you have the added pressure of wanting to do really well in your courses. This sets you up for a situation where you just don't feel that you're good enough to be in medical school. I know that for me, when I started medical school, I had the constant fear that I was going to fail. Even though I was studying pretty much all day, even though I was working really hard, even though I was doing relatively well in classes, I still felt that at any moment I could fail out of school. And this worsened throughout medical school, especially with the transition to third year. Basically throughout the third year, you're constantly rotating through different specialties. So you're constantly having to adjust and constantly having to learn new information. That is not good for your confidence, and it definitely was not good for mine. So no matter how well I was doing on my tests, I still would harper on the times I didn't know the answer. You also see imposter syndrome come into play in terms of not having the ability to answer questions, whether on rounds or in the classroom. Because you have such a fear of being wrong and because you have no confidence in your own answer, you are less likely to present an answer. Even if you feel that you know the answer, you still would hesitate. And the imposter syndrome didn't end because I graduated medical school. When I started residency, I still had many of the same feelings. I still felt that I did not belong. I still felt that I did not know enough. I still felt that other people were smarter than I was and that they would be better doctors than I could ever be. And I think that this is particularly true for minority physicians. I'm not quite sure what it is. I don't know if it's caused by having to deal with systemic racism for your entire life or not having adequate representation in the medical field, or it may just be because you don't have a lot of people that look like you around. So that may add to your insecurity. For whatever reason, minority physicians and non-minority physicians deal with imposter syndrome. As I learned more throughout my intern year especially and throughout residency, I felt those feelings of inadequacy decrease, but not completely go away. So here are some steps to put death to the imposter syndrome. Number one, recognize those feelings. So think about when do you have these thoughts and feelings and what they are. I know for me, I had those feelings especially when an attending would disagree with the plan that I came up with for a patient, or when I didn't know an answer to a question on rounds or in lectures. And that leads me to number two. Remind yourself that it is completely normal to not know everything, and that you will learn more as you progress in your studies. No one can know all there is to know in medicine, and you should not expect that you will. Just accepting that fact will help you deal with those feelings of inadequacy and those feelings related to the imposter syndrome. Number three, talk about your feelings with others. You'll be surprised to learn how many of your colleagues are suffering with similar thoughts. I think that it is therapeutic to express those thoughts with other people and understand that you're not alone in suffering with the imposter syndrome. Before, you should think of any failure as an opportunity to learn. If you didn't get that question right, it's just an opportunity to know it next time. If you didn't have the right plan for a patient, it's just an opportunity to get it right the next time. If you look at failures as a way to learn and advance your medical education, you'll be a better physician. And number 5, seek support. And what I mean by this is talk to your mentors, talk to your medical school and residency leadership, and talk to a mental health professional if you think you need it. All of these people can help you overcome the imposter syndrome and become the best physician that you can be. Thank you for watching this video, and I really hope that it was helpful to you. Be sure to like this video, subscribe to my channel, and comment below so we can continue this discussion. See you next time.